What is up, everybody? I'm Nova coming at you with another one. I thought we would do GBLC. I was going through a few. This one had no sound. Apologies. I was calling bearish pullback anyway before we had a run up. And we can see the red candles are continuing. We had a turn. What date is that? April 14th. I think that's right around the point where we were doing the video. We had higher highs, and we're waiting to see if we have higher lows. If we zoom in a little bit more, we can see that on the pullback, we're starting to test the 111. And let's go to, yeah, we've got a bit of a doji happening here. Last time we had one, we did have a bit of a run. So this could be the bounce. But the next resistance point that we've seen looking left might be our next turn, and then support before we continue up. So what's it looking like? Well, the APO and MACD has been slowly working its way downhill. Here we had the bounce, you can see, and then we had the turn, and that would have been right about here. That would have negated this move. But if you follow the play where as you get close to the zero cross, it's got to rest, you probably would have gotten out maybe right about here. And now you're waiting for things to look for a bounce again. Now, the APO is crossing the MACD, which means the shorter time frame is selling off more than the average. So that would be the downward pressure. And we're waiting to see if the APO is going to bottom out and then start climbing again. We'll probably see one more resistance here unless Bitcoin starts to wake up. And if we go to Bitcoin, BTC, USDT, we're still on that, working our way back down. And this could be the reason. Where are we? ETH BTC. Okay. So Ethereum is trying to gain dominance again. We are seeing this cup forming, so we'll probably see this level off and start to handle, at which point Bitcoin dominance will start to, well, not dominance, but you know what I mean. The Bitcoin will start to go on its up leg again. So we'll probably see the bounce, and ETH will start to pull off a bit. I think Litecoin is doing the same thing. Yeah, we're off. Doing the same thing here. Go 4 hour for a sec. Yeah, so Litecoin is about to do the same thing where it's running, and then the pairs will be trading back and forth. But back to GBLC. I'm thinking that these guys they trade and they mine. I'm not sure. Maybe if somebody's been in it can let us know. But the majority of this move has relaxed. We had a bit of a gap down, and now we're getting ready to challenge the move back up again. So this could have been the false rally, and we'll start to condition ourselves for another run. But that's not happening anytime soon. And we do have this this simmering of the money flow index, right? We're dropping off. So there's less and less interest going into this, and we're still testing to see where our bottom is. And as I look at this, I'm going to turn off the indicators here, and we'll delete this, delete that. We can see this triangle forming here. like so. And we don't know exactly where this bottom is. We'll assume that like we're almost there. I almost want to go a little higher, but within reason. And we're almost at that 10 cent mark where we were thinking the zone would be somewhere in here. So we've got the test for this support line. If we look left, and the majority of the noise was happening in here. So it could be that we're going to be heading down here before we see the bounce. Now we could, I don't see it happening. I don't think we're going to jet up and test that again. I think somewhere below here is where the target is going to be. I'm just trying to look left again because I forget. Yeah, so we've got this section here was resistance. So therefore, once we punch through, we've got support. So now that we have we had resistance here, we're going to be testing this for support. So I guess somewhere in here would be the entry positions, and I don't see, like, the interest is still dropping off. We still have APO MACD hasn't sorted itself out. Let me close this off for a sec. Give us some more room. This is still trying to drop down, so you can see how this is arcing down, and this is the increase of momentum to the downside. So not very strong momentum moving up. And this move simply just has to quiet down. Now, if we look at this, this pattern is quite reminiscent of ETH when it went on a run. Where are we here? I wonder if I'll be able to find it. I'll go daily. Here it is. So I'm just looking at this. This was the previous all-time high. We zigzagged, big dump, and then we came down, and then we kind of grinded, and then there was a final capitulation here, right? So GB. So as we go back to here, let's get rid of log. So this was that V style dump, and yeah, we had a gap down. That could be what happened here, but I think we have like one more final capitulation to match where people were arguing where price was going to be, right? All the longs were saying it's not going any higher than this for a while, and all the shorts, well, they were basically both fighting right about there. So that's where the argument was, and I think that's where the argument will start again. The question is, will we bounce at 11 or will we bounce at 6.5? And if you're patient and you start chipping away somewhere in here, I think you have a better chance of success. However, not all eggs in one basket, because we've got the negative MACD candles happening here, right? Everything under the zero cross, and this could continue to go lower. If it goes lower than this 6.5, which I don't think it will. Let's clone this. This was the next resistive point, which is 4 cents. Not sure if it's going to go down there, but it all depends on Bitcoin and what it's going to do heading into the summer, right? Like, I was expecting a big pullback. Alt season is taking off. If these guys are dealing more with alts, they'll probably have a stronger position. If they're not dealing with that, and we may have like a complete reset. We've seen obscure assets go down, not to zero, but almost to zero. And I don't like this 110 split here, right? Like if a company has to split, it's got to attract more money. If it has to attract more money, it's not able to manage its own budgets. And if it can't do that, why would you invest in something that can't manage its own budget? Because you want them to do it for you. You don't want to do it for them. That being said, I do like this handle that's forming here. So let's get rid of that. And what we have forming is a nice cup and handle, which is right here, like so. And then I would even say this is kind of like a failed cup and handle, but I do like the fact that it's still a handle. And we can even argue it's a little wider if we want to include this, right? A bit noisy. And then we've got this run. So it could be that once we break, the next target before we fall asleep again on this one might be, this one's hard to tell because normally you would wait, but we would be up around here. But because we're selling off a bit more, what I'm worried about is right here. So if this is the bounce, we may go back up to about 20 cents or so, and then we may have to try the cup and handle again. And that does play out in the big consolidation cycle of a run, right? Let's go full screen on this. So we got like a 5 and then a 3 down. So 1, 2, 3. Little consolidation before we continue and make a larger cup and start to challenge all-time highs. Where would it be? Let's call that the bottom. Yeah, this is kind of showing weakness, but excuse me. So this may actually be stretched out a little bit more to say about there. Actually, that looks pretty good. And that falls in line with the summertime launch. So what would happen after that? We would get some sort of, we'd get some sort of pullback to say maybe about there, like that. That seems to work too. So consolidation, summertime, blow off just before the September and October run. And then a potential move up to around 69 cents, at which point we'd be looking at that. Delete. This is a lot of speculation, folks, so just bear that in mind. But it looks like we could see that if Bitcoin starts doing the run again. Copy. Nope. And down around there. Reason being, major resistance is there, should become future support, right? So I think that's what we may be looking at very much into the future. Right now, we want to see where is this going to be. So the big question is, are we going to go inside? Are we going to go inside the triangle, or are we going to complete? So that is the place that we should be waiting for. And we'll only see the bounce when we start seeing this move to the upside, the APO and MACD. I'm assuming that, excuse me, the move will be much more violent, but, volume is down, even on lower time frames. This does look a little better, but I don't like the fact that this is curled down like that. Just means more further pressure to the downside. Hourly is about as deep as I want to go. And we can argue that if this does turn, we're starting to get a bit of convergence there. We can even extend this a little further. About there. That's looking a little better. So the oh, something in my throat here. Sorry. The interest is low. The speculators are slowly showing momentum converging, but it's not confirmed. And once we do, if we break, support, and then we'll come up and we'll challenge this here. But this is still going to be a long-term play. So we don't know if this is the center of this cup yet. It just looks like it's starting to show that. And this arc was resistance. And now we're showing the arc as support. So I think maybe revisiting this mid-May, which seems to be a popular date for a lot of the market to start waking up again. We'll wait and see if this starts to form the other side of the cup. And if we do, somewhere around here may be our resistance. Let's make even more spaghetti to upset people. So somewhere around there. Clone is what we're going to be looking at for future resistance before this pulls back again. And then the support will likely be between this noise here, right? So we've got movement heading towards this noise, and hopefully we see a buildup heading towards either this or this. For now, it looks like we're close to bottoming out. So we'll go full screen. This is going to look like lots of fun. I'm sure I'll get lots of negative comments on that, but that looks like a pretty good thumbnail. Anyways, if you have any information to share with regards to Graph blockchain, feel free to comment. Sorry it took so long to reply to this. This is not a full-time gig for me. We're all here to learn. And comment, like, share. Let me know if you like the way this channel is going, if you don't like it, if there's not enough time being spent on it, yada, yada, yada. Gblc, Graph blockchain, trade safe.